Alright, try this again. My last video, which I just did this morning, or earlier this afternoon, I actually took a new to me Dewalt case, and I opened it up. I showed two of these examples, one being a single walled, one being the double walled construction. That video will go up about the same time as this one. If it's not there yet, keep your eyes open for it. And it's how I basically took a case designed for a specific Dewalt tool and turned it into what you're about to see. This is my ham radio POTA scratch and dent protection box that I use to keep my FT891 in as I travel to and from POTA sites. It is not as robust or as protective as, say, a Pelican case or the Harbor Freight version of a Pelican case. It is only meant to keep the radio from sliding off the seat and getting scratched and stuff falling on it and that sort of thing. The main components of it are a tool case. These do happen to be Dewalt's. Makita, Milwaukee, and many other brands have similar cases, different colors, different shapes, different sizes. I just seem to be able to find the Dewalt's readily available in my area. That pile I just showed you, I picked them up for $1 a piece at a local resale shop. So that case. Then there is an underlying deck board. That's basically just to hold the bolts that hold the radio in. And we'll see how that goes in a minute. The next piece there is an overdeck that the radio is actually mounted to. And I just used the regular car mount bracket that came with the radio and mounted it to this deck. The whole idea is that I take out 3 wing nuts, and the radio comes out, and it can be set on my desk, or set on a picnic table, or my little folding camps table for use. On the bottom of the radio deck, I have 4, only 3 of them mounted at the moment, so I can show you what they look like closer, of these little feet. Now you can see that is a rubber foot. I think it's approximately 3/4 of an inch to an inch in height. And inside there is, one of the things that was critical to me was that little metal washer in there, because that means it's not just a piece of rubber that's going to tear out very quickly. At least it does to me. These I got off got off Amazon. And I'll see what I can do about finding a link and getting it maybe in there in the description. But that's what I did. As you can see, I drilled a few holes in the bottom of the case. Maybe you should go this direction. You can see there are 3 holes in the case, in the bottom, and that's what holds this big deck on. I then have 3 bolts that are going to come out of the big deck and go up to the radio. Something to be cautious of when you go to mount the radio: the wing nut that will hold the front. I had an issue when I first put it together that I got that too close to the buttons and couldn't get the wing nut on and off easily. So I had to monkey with it. Moving the radio back an inch or so fixed that problem. So here we go, putting her back together. I have 3 carriage bolts that will come up through the holes in the bottom of the case. 1. I should have drafted somebody to cameraman this for me so that you don't get seasick. 2. and 3. And before I put the deck in, the longer carriage bolts, which actually mount the radio, have to go in to the deck. And that is again 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. And then run nuts down onto those. Alright, and of course I'll get a wrench and tighten those down just a little bit more. But the other thing to do was to take this regular hex bolt, run it through my foot, and then up through the radio deck. And again, tighten that down. Then when I'm ready to move my radio, I simply pick up the whole deck. Set it over my 3 studs. And I'll secure them in place with the 3 carriage or the 3 wing nuts. So I'm sure everybody's going to ask the question of why didn't I just use the 3 bolts that tied the radio deck to the box as the holes that came through the box, and the answer was I didn't. How do I want to word this? I didn't want to put the added stress of bolting and unbolting onto the fairly thin wall plastic. Probably overkill on my part, but that was my thinking. I'm sure there's going to be somebody that says I'm wrong, and I probably am. Then when I'm traveling, I tend to tuck the cables back up in underneath, simply because that way they're not just banging around in there. There's a little bit of control on them, and when I open the case, it looks a little bit neater. And then here's my clips that connect to my battery in the truck when I am out doing a POTA activation. Tuck my ground wire in, flip the cover over, lock it in place, and now the radio doesn't go anywhere as I move it to and from different parks back into the house. I can quickly pop it out of the case, put it on the bench, and it becomes my shack radio. So that's pretty much it for the radio case. Like I said, there's another video out there that either is there now or will be very soon, that walks through the turning of the Dewalt case with all of its dividers, and in this case interior moldings, into an open space, so that you can reuse it for something else. I have a number of things that I use these for. Radio's not all of them, which is the primary reason I broke it into two pieces, because that way somebody who doesn't want to see the case conversion, because they already understand that, doesn't have to sit through the whole thing to see the radio half, and somebody who only wants to see the case conversion will be able to find it, because it won't strictly be directed at folks with radios. So that's my ideas. That's how I do it. It does seem to work just fine for getting my radio to and from. I do take the radio out of the case when I'm on site, mainly because that lid is taking up table space. Because it would work just fine out of the case. This way. That'll work just fine. There's absolutely no reason I can't do that. And perhaps if I'm doing picnic table activations, I can do that. But as of right now, most of my activations are off of a 18-inch square table, folding camp table, so it just doesn't fit. And this definitely won't fit on the desk that I use as a ham shack desk. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you found this informative, or got a good laugh out of it, one way or the other. I don't care. And I want to say thank you again. Kilo Echo 8, Oscar Whiskey Delta, wishing everybody 73, and have yourselves a great day. Bye-bye.